Scream 7 is, in case you couldn't have guessed by the title, the 7th installment in the long-running Scream franchise, which just so happens to be my favorite horror franchise of all time. Real quick, what's going on with all this? I'm getting a haircut today, so stay tuned for better hair. Also, stay tuned for a lot of Scream content coming this weekend. We got ranking, we got a spoiler review of the movie, because there's a lot to talk about. Now, there's a lot of drama that I'm not really going to touch on, because I feel like if you touch on the drama on this movie and use it to critique the film, it kind of cuts you down from being a critic more to like a personal agenda thing. I am going to mention something about it later on in this video, but it's not really going to... You'll see what I'm talking about when I talk about it, but I was looking forward to this movie strictly because it's Scream. My favorite horror franchise of all time. If Scream 3 is your lowest point, you're doing a pretty damn good job. And I saw the trailer and I was like, this is generic. This looks very generic. This looks very safe. I don't know what we're doing here. And I was very nervous. And then the reviews came out and the reviews said it's very generic and it's very safe. And I thought, oh no, it's going to be a bad movie. Did I think it's a bad movie? I'll tell you here in my review. Before I give you my thoughts on the film, if you would subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell. Most important thing, what are your opinions on the film? If you have not seen the movie, don't worry. This is a spoiler-free review. I wrote notes. I'm going to not spoil a single thing from this film in this review. There's a spoiler review later on if you have seen the film. And I'm going to be monitoring, going through the comment section very, very closely. If somebody spoils the movie in the comment section, they're getting deleted. If somebody even says Scream 7 spoilers and then goes ... it's getting deleted. No spoilers in the comment section. We're not risking it at all here on the Zach D Films YouTube channel. And with that said, Scream 7 is the most flawed film in the franchise by a wide margin. It's also a film I had a really good time with, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. I had a really good time with Scream 7. A lot of that comes from the kills, because the kills in this movie are great. You start off with a couple of decent ones, kind of gnarly, and you're like, okay, we're kind of getting there. And then, like, the first real kill and the real story of the film, outside of the cold open, you get there and you're like, oh, okay, that's a good kill. It got you invested. And then, like, the third act, the Carnage Candy Mayhem, is just a lot of fun. Just some very gnarly, gruesome kills. They're not afraid to show the blood. They're not afraid to show the gross stuff of the kills. And that's something I thought was great because, I mean, I love Carnage Candy movies, and this one had a lot of good Carnage Candy, and that's really the saving grace of the film. It's also fun to see these characters. Sydney back with a daughter this time, played by Isabella May, who I thought was pretty good in the film. She's not the standout for me like a lot of people, but I mean, obviously it is fun to see Sydney back. You got Gail in here. She's not really utilized, in my opinion. I don't really think she's utilized well at all inside the film. But you got Sydney here, you got Gail here, you got Sydney with a daughter. Supporting cast is pretty good. The big one, McKenna Grace, is always fun to see. She's one of my favorite up-and-coming actresses of this day and age. So I thought the cast was pretty fun. And I do think that the movie took some swings. For better or for worse, the movie took a lot of swings. And a lot of them were bad. And we'll touch more on this in the negatives and more specifically the spoiler review. But also, like, the way the story's structured, I'm like, a Scream movie has never been structured this way before. And while I was watching the film, I was like, you know what? I kind of like what we're doing here and love that we're taking some big swings in the film. With that said, it's flawed. It is flawed times 100. And the big flaw here is the script, where, like, I feel like I could sit down and write a better script. There's complaints that it feels like it's written by AI, and those are complaints that I sit back and I think, and I'm like, yeah, it feels like it's written by AI just a little bit. Like I said, I enjoyed watching the movie overall, but, like, the script is really bad. And again, it's hard to talk about without discussing spoilers, so I cannot wait for that spoiler review. But like I said, it takes swings, and there's, like, one or two things that is just like, oh, boom, it's a double. And then there's, like, 10 other things that swing and a miss, swing and a miss, swing and a miss, strike three, swing and a miss, swing and a miss, swing and a miss, strike three, swing and a miss, swing and a miss, swing and a miss, strike three. You just struck out the side with just these bizarre ideas that the movie has. And it's like, they're interesting ideas that if you explored it better, if you wrote the script better, if you wrote the dialogue better, I want to sit down and write the script, because I was thinking, I got in the shower last night, and I was thinking, and I was like, I could easily do it this way, or I would flip things around, where I'm only going to briefly touch on this just for a minute. We all know Stu's coming back. And the way that they utilize his character is dumb. Like, really freaking dumb. And I feel like I could, like, write it better. If you're going to commit to that, you got to commit to something as crazy as that, and not do what this film does, which that's as far as I'm going to say. It's dumb. And certain plot lines throughout the movie is just completely ridiculous. Like, nonsensical characters making nonsensical decisions. At one point, Sydney, like, Ghostface is attacking her daughter, and Sydney's like, I gotta go, and instead of, like, waiting 3 seconds for Gail to get the keys to the car, she just starts running, which is like, what? Just wait 3 seconds and get to the car. At which point, now, it's not a spoiler because we've already seen this in trailers, but she doesn't get there in time, and, like, it's, you know, it's this scene where, like, she's on the camera on her phone. It's in the trailers. It's not a spoiler. And, like, it's, why? Like, the dumbest ways to get to point A to point B, where I feel like I could have wrote it around a little bit and made it make more sense. It's bizarre. Speaking of the trailers, I feel like the trailers did this film a big disservice. Because there are a lot of cool things here. You got the scene where Ghostface is stabbing through the wall to try to get them while they're sneaking through the wall. You got the scene where she's guiding her daughter with the gun through the cameras and to try to shoot Ghostface. You got all those cool scenes, and I sit back, and the thought that comes to my head is, if I didn't see this in the trailer, this would be really cool. The whole cold opening, you've seen the entire thing in the trailer. It's a cool cold opening, but you're like, I've seen it. It's like I'm rewatching a scene that I've seen 100 times because I go to the movies all the time and see this trailer all the time. The trailers do this film a massive disservice where it like, just don't show any of that, I guess. The stuff that you didn't show in the trailers is the dumb shit in the movie. And the stuff that you did show is the stuff that actually could be really cool. That's kind of just like a personal complaint of mine. The reveals in this movie, and kind of going back to the script, just kind of being all over the place. The reveals in this movie are bad. Like, they are really, really bad. Again, no spoilers. It's going to be very hard. I'll just leave it at that. I think I'll just leave it at, the reveals are stupid. They're bad. They're almost nonsensical. At a certain point, when a character shows up, I leaned over to my brother. I'm like, I bet that's a killer. And, they were the killer. They as in, I'm not going to spoil any pronouns of the killers. Because the killer, because I don't really want to spoil the movie. But it's bad. I sit back and I'm thinking about this movie and I'm thinking, dude, like, Scream 1 through 6, you get like the big lead up to the killers, there's just mystery and it's at least a little bit compelling. And in this movie it's like, we're the killer! Hi! And it's like, okay. The motivation, again, something that could be a little bit interesting. I'm thinking, that's an interesting idea, but guess what? Was it executed good? No, it wasn't executed good at all. And I'm thinking, this feels like an off-brand Scream movie. You know, in the Halloween franchise, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, where you got, like, the mainstream movies, the ones that everybody thinks are really good, and then you just got the sequels, where, like, it goes for some dumb ideas, and they're like, Halloween 4 and 5, where you're sitting back and you're like, this is dumb. This actually played in theaters. This is actually a movie. That's kind of the movie with this one. It feels like direct-to-video Scream, where it doesn't have any of the qualities Scream 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 all had. And this movie essentially feels like it has become the thing that the franchise has been making fun of since Scream in 1996. Where, like, there's no freshness, there's no uniqueness. Why is Sydney back in this movie? Why is she getting attacked by a Ghostface killer? I don't know, because Melissa Barrera got fired and we couldn't have Sam in the movie. And Like, it has become the very thing that the franchise swore to never become. And you're sitting back and you're like, this is just off-brand Scream. I said I was going to mention something about that. Kevin Williamson is the director of this film, and Stu's back. And all of that was not utilized. It honestly quite felt like they fired Melissa Barrera, Jenna Ortega quit, Radio Silence is not doing this movie. You're sitting back and like, it's in trouble, and it honestly kind of feels like the studio's like, Kevin Williamson's writing and Stu's coming back. It's a desperation move. I will say Kevin Williamson is very good at the camera. There are a lot of sequences that have some really good tension, are shot really well. It is a very well-looking movie, I will say. The gore is all there, and Kevin Williamson is a good director. I'm not knocking him. But the way that they bring Stu back is just stupid, like I already mentioned. And, the script. If you get a better script, man, this could be a really interesting Scream movie. What's next? Are we going to get Scream 10, where Sydney goes to the moon? Or something like that? I don't know. It's completely ridiculous. And where, again, Screams 1 through 6 are all really well-written movies. They have a purpose. They're parroting something. And then you get this movie, and I felt that there is no purpose for this movie. There's no sensical idea in Scream 7 to warrant the movie's existence besides it's a new Scream movie. And the nostalgia bait, dude, is insane. I mean, even looking at this poster, it's a cool poster. Because it's the Scream poster from 1996. And then, constantly, I'm not even gonna lie. It's not gonna be a spoiler. It's just, one tiny little thing. The sequence right after the cold open is Isabella May has her boyfriend sneak through the window. He quotes lines from Scream, I was sitting down watching TV and Stab came on, and it got me thinking of you. That's so hot, boyfriend! Nostalgia bait to the max. Again, it's hard to talk. It's so hard to talk about. But everything has to be a callback. I thought through that at the beginning of the movie. I was like, this is going to be bad. This is going to be rough. And fortunately, there's enough saving graces to make me enjoy the movie. But dude, come on. Nostalgia bait, nostalgia bait, nostalgia bait. I'm done with it. We already had Scream 5 with the nostalgia bait. Why do we have to call back to every single other film? Oh, Isabella May's wearing the jacket that Sydney had in Scream 2. That's a callback. It's ridiculous. It is, again, the script, right? A better script. And this movie could be really, really good. Instead, you didn't write a good script. The script is actually pretty awful. And the movie's not very good. Before I give you my final score on Scream 7, if you would subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell. Comment down below if you've seen it. What are your opinions on Scream 7? I would love to know all that and more. If you haven't seen it, are you excited for the movie? Did this review make you more excited? I will say that I enjoyed the movie. I think the third act is a lot of fun, minus the reveals. But the kills, the carnage candy, all that is there. All that is a blast. But the script is bad. There's so much dumb things going on in the film that I just sat back and I'm like, this is an easy, good movie, but your script feels like it's written by AI, and that's the one negative here. And I cannot wait to talk about all the flaws that this movie had in the spoiler review coming this weekend. With that said, Scream 7, I know it sounds like I'm going to give it a really low score. I am going B- on Scream 7, because at the end of the day, I had a good time with it. I enjoyed the film, and I know that the majority of this review was trashing on the movie. But that's because I'm a massive fan of the franchise, and it feels like it's so easy to make a good version of this movie. Instead, they made the worst possible version, but the kills are good. That's what I go to a Scream movie for. It's fun seeing the characters. I'm giving it a B-, and I would say go see it in the theaters, if you're a Scream fan. Again, I know I spent a lot of time hating on this movie, but the general audience is loving it. My theater was loving it. It's the one time I'm not going to complain when the whole audience goes, or, oh no, edge of your seat stuff, except the bitch to my left, down the row, who was, recording the movie, certain scenes on flash the entire time. Screw you, buddy. Anyways, it's a good theater experience. I would recommend you go see it in theaters, but tamper your expectations. Don't go into Scream 7 thinking it's going to be Scream 1 or 5. Go in thinking, off-brand Scream, kills are fun, we're going to have fun with it. But it is a very frustrating movie, and it might be on my most disappointing movies of the year, even though I kind of enjoyed the film. With that said, thank you guys for clicking on this review. If you've seen the movie, stay tuned for the spoiler review and the Scream ranking in the coming days. And with that said, subscribe.